Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Moin. Hello, little wankers. Look at who's here. He's not Jerry. He's the Pole.
Hello.
Pole. Hello, James. Scott, Orinoco, Redverse, Demon's Hop, and Dan Lee so far. So good. I'm guessing some of yous are somewhat flattened, doing booze and chocolatey, biscuity things.
All been out trick-or-treating.
Could be. Hello, Doc Daniken. Unofficial Yellow Belly.
This
Yes.
is it, yeah.
But what about
Tim's crossing the streams. Don't
what
cross
about
the streams.
Assassin's Creed? Dave, are you lurking? Dave, can I see you there?
Yeah, to be fair, I did tell him I was after club this week. I said we were at McDonald's. I said, yeah, I'll be starring on Tim's stream. He said, I'll be there to fucking cause trouble in the chat. But as usual, he's late.
And to make this scary night even more scary, this is for you, Jerry. Some brown lemonade.
This is for you, Jerry. I'm having a pipe.
Oh, you bastard.
This fucker ain't licorice either.
Well, I'm guessing Jerry is currently up to his neck in the footy, enjoying.
So yeah, you obviously dragged me in to do this under fucking duress, but you never said why you had to. So where is Gaming Gandalf?
He's enjoying football.
Is he off finding his one ring?
No, he's enjoying football. Basically.
Oh, right. Okay.
There's some game I have no clue. I don't understand a thing. He mumbled words. All I said was football. He said football, and that's soccer for our American friends.
No, football, for fuck's sake.
Just today, I got my monthly report from YouTube saying, "Oh, look, see what your lovely things are done." And I don't know if you've gotten this already. This recap on a weekly basis. Have you?
Well, to be honest with you, Tim, I get a ton of information in my YouTube Studio app if I can be asked to look at it. Frankly, with 60 subscribers, an average of about 50 views a video, I don't really bother too fucking much. I basically check occasionally to see if there's a comment to reply to. Other than that, I don't fucking worry about it because we ain't big league yet. But I do know what you mean.
Yeah, so for everybody not knowing, there's a little recap on your weekly activities, and today they asked me if I would know who my second largest audience would be on YouTube. Well, it's the Americans. It's 9% Americans.
I was going to say most of that demographic stuff. It says there is insufficient viewer data to provide this. There is insufficient data, so it's like I fucking know.
Now, I think I've got about 78% UK based and 9% American based, and the rest is just all over the place.
Yeah, it's just some random things here and there. We have a few. I noticed because again, it tells you what languages people have asked for requested subtitles and that, haven't they? Or captioning. I'm sure I've seen something in there that sort of like says what people have requested for captioning. And we get some random ones like fucking South American, and it's like, what?
Well, I've been looking at those stats over 3 years, and I'm happy to report I have 0 female audience. I don't know why. I can't.
We haven't got a fucking clue. We know there's about half a dozen people out there tuned in, but there could be fucking anybody, frankly. In fact, it could just be David with 6 browsers open. I don't know.
James, Sorry Not Enough Data is at the same location where the band To Be Announced is from.
Yeah. If only, mate. If only.
Yeah, but you don't watch subtitles in German. That would be interesting.
To be fair though, Tim, you should subtitle your own videos because fucking YouTube does a shit job. Particularly when you start hitting all the game names and stuff like that. It's like, no, that isn't what he's saying. I don't speak German, and even I know that's not what he's saying.
Yeah, but why derive my audience of such fun things as Google auto-translate bollocks?
Oh, how generous of you.
And frankly, who can be asked?
Jesus Christ.
YouTube subtitles versus Tau missile. Yeah. So, children, as you can see, this is an adult stream because we have smoke on said screen, which is totally fine.
I was going to
It's
say,
bad for your health, but
yeah, yeah. I was going to say, if it's a problem, I can stop. But given the fact that the fucking profanity that sort of like explodes out of this stream is sort of like pretty much on an 11 on a scale of 1 to 10, I figured that pretty much everything's,
what is
everything's
this
good to go.
profanity you're talking about?
Well, like the cunts in the splash screen, for example.
It's a totally normal, natural thing to occur on a woman's body, so why not name?
That's true. That is true. Not that half of us would know, eh, lads?
Also, where should this lead? Where does this lead? Nowhere.
I'd rather not say. The wife might be watching. But he's a pharmacist and everything. Yeah, that's it.
He's a pharmacist and he's
thing
okay.
Is, the trick is, know it's bad for you, but not give a shit. See? Easy.
It boils down to the amount of self-deprecation you have. So,
yeah, I mean, ultimately, the advantage of being a healthcare professional is you can do all of the bad things that are bad for you, but you're under no delusion that you're doing stuff that's bad for you. It's like, yeah, I'm exactly the same demon sub. They put me on statins recently, and I say, well, given the amount of fry-ups I eat, I'm not surprised you've got around to doing that. Should I cut down on my cholesterol? Probably, but I tell you what, I like a fried breakfast. So that can only go one way, can't it?
I think that's the definition of being an adult, knowing you're doing dumb things and doing it anyways.
Yeah.
And getting away with it because nobody can tell you not to.
Exactly. It's all part of being a grown-up.
If I want to have chocolate cake in the middle of the night, I'll go to the freezer and get myself a slice.
I was going to say, if you want chocolate cake in the middle of the night, you want to fucking get in the queue behind my missus, because she'll be there first. On Thursday, right, we have an arrangement, because obviously I come straight home from work pretty much and then start streaming. The arrangement is I go to the baker's next door and buy her a big box of cakes, and she could just sit in bed and scoff the lot. So it's like, fair enough, dear. That's the deal. You got it.
So should you and your lovely wife ever come to Germany, there's a deep freeze chocolate cake I can highly recommend.
Ooh.
It's about yay big, so let's say 25 centimeters in diameter, about 5 high. It's a real chocolate cake, and you put it in the microwave for about 6 minutes, and then you have a hot chocolate cake.
And what, like, has it got like a fudge center, or does the whole cake sort of melt?
No, it's a the spongy, textury dough in the middle, but outside is all molten chocolate.
Oh my god, that sounds amazing.
It is. It's horrible for your figure, but it's delicious.
With double cream poured all over it.
It's just the funny thing is, we stumbled across that on sheer coincidence. It wasn't a perfect thing. We had this thing once, and now every now and again, my wife tells me we need another chocolate cake for Sunday.
So it's not something you have regularly then?
No, you better not. You really don't.
Fucking amateur.
We cut it into 6 pieces, and everybody has 2 slices, and then we're stuffed.
As I said, amateur.
I know my limits. I'm old enough now.
Zorg 2.0. Hi guys, Jerry looks different today. What, more good looking? More debonair? Thank you, Zorg. Really, you shouldn't have.
Nope, he shouldn't have.
He probably didn't, let's be fair.
Do you want to get on with it?
Yeah, let's do it.
So I think there's a project
so now
waiting for us.
You need me to actually fucking work here, don't you? So you need me to...
I buy a full cheesecake and only comes in 2 portions.
God's sake. To be fair though, don't you guys find that's pretty much a general thing anyway? Most most things that you buy and it said serve 6. It's like 6 what?
Midgets.
6 kittens. It's like serve 6 my ass. Right, there's your first one.
Let's go to the Wayland Yutani by Denzian. So why did you pick this one? Short explain it in front of the audience. Paul and I split the choosing of the project half and half. I chose the most horrible projects I could find. The worst of the worst. So
do you know what? I did wonder. I was looking at when I was opening all the browser tabs. I was like, why the fuck has Tim picked all this? So that now you've said that does make sense, because it's like,
do not be scared, citizens.
Workshop. What the fuck is this?
So Denzian has a nice In Space Nova Academy stream project, which we have looked in the past.
Nice doesn't even come close, Timothy dear. I'm going to come clean, guys. Obviously, it is very rare that I follow a project on the system. It's not somewhere where I spend a huge amount of time, but oh my God, this project I followed as soon as I came across it. Now it is absolutely massive. And if I'm the only criticism that I can make of Denzian for this project is it's probably a bit big now and he should have split it out into different projects. But the reason I picked it is basically I am a massive fan of the whole IP, Alien IP. And basically, if you're into the Alien IP, this has everything. This has him scratch building the flipping Hadley's Hope base from bloody Aliens. This has battle reports for the old AVP game from bloody Prodos, was it? Miniatures, of which I've got a ton of the stuff upstairs that's not even been assembled and painted. There is just so much in this project to just celebrate. It's, for me, it's like, this is definitely my number one pick. Of all the projects on the whole Beast of War platform, this one speaks to me and impresses the fuck out of me and makes me jealous as hell that somebody could put this much work and effort into just the one thing without getting, Jerry like squirrel distracted. But yes, so now I've finished basically kissing fucking Denzian's ring. That's basically why I picked this one, mate.
Yeah, it's a one we looked at the past, and it's ginormous.
That is if you're watching Denzian, that is one thing that I think is a if I could make a comment, please, when you're doing your projects, people, have an idea of what you want it to contain. Then when you've done that, start something new. Do you know what I mean? Like, because there are loads of different things in here and they could easily be their own little self-contained projects. And it makes it easier I think it makes it easier to navigate as somebody who's looking for stuff. And I think it makes the projects, I don't know, it just makes the whole thing more comfortable. I don't know what you think, Tim.
I'm going to agree with you on the whole thing that you can actually gain things when you split them up, but that would and I'm going to hell for saying this, but this would require a stable project system that's working.
Okay, I'm good. Yeah, fair. That is fair.
I mean, I've been there more than once thinking, oh, this would be a nice Nah, I can't be bothered.
I'll be honest, yeah, I'm with you, mate. I'm with you.
It's sadly the instability at times gets me.
It's my biggest frustration is when you're trying to upload stuff and then like it bins out and it loses all the text and all of the stuff that you've typed in just because you overloaded it with too many images or some crap.
Yeah, that's the worst.
I'll be honest, what I do now is I do all my projects, I draft them in like something like OpenOffice, Then when I upload them, if it bins out, I can just copy paste all the text back in, and it sort of like makes doing it all again a lot easier. But
Yeah,
to be fair, we shouldn't have to do that.
I'm quite the same. I start the project or an entry, and whenever I'm finished typing the text goes into the copy and paste method, and then I hit send, and if it's not going out, copy
at least
paste.
you've got it on the old clipboard. Boink, put that back in. Try that again, shall we?
Hello, Crispin. How can you forget it's Tuesday? It's also
Hi, Crispin.
Scary Night Day.
Oh, he's in the chat. Denzian,
Yes.
my hero, man. Absolute kudos
Working
to
from
you,
home.
sir.
Nice
Fuck
one.
me, this project is amazing. And I am so jealous because I have wanted to get AVP to that. I've played the board game a few times at my club, but I've never played the full-blooded. In fact, do I have my rulebook here?
Are you going to start to do a Jerry here on me now, grabbing things left, right, and center?
Never played. Damn it.
Well, that's on you, I guess.
Yeah, it is. Totally. I'm an arse.
Well, that's what she said.
So, right. Do you want next one then?
Yes, please. Let the kittens at home know where we're going.
Okay, so let's
strap in, children.
Like a fucking pro. Look at this. Ha! Fucking hell, Jerry makes this look hard. Fuck that. Right.
Because he's watching the footy on the telly.
Oh, right, okay.
Doug the Fuck is, well, as I said, I've literally took the oldest and most abandoned and awful project I could find, and they're all 40k, so strap in, lads. Doug has done some Dark Imperium with very weird looking miniatures. I don't think
these aren't your classic Nurgle, are they?
Not really. Forge World Legion Primus Medicae. I don't think I've ever seen these words written.
What the fuck, man?
But he has done a hell of a paint job on these miniatures, and especially when you see some people growing beards and antlers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming all of this is conversion work, but Jesus. I'm scrolling through the project as well because I've never seen this. Wow. I tell you what, I do actually like the color palettes that he's chosen. I mean, because obviously you don't see colors like orange and yellow used an awful lot in Death Guard projects. I mean, Jesus, he's got that guy there with a yellow plasma gun. He's in some sort of like blue armor. It's really different.
It almost reminds me of Space Wolves.
Yeah, I think that I've just because I didn't know what you were going to pick. I'm here. He says he's got Space Wolf transfers and decals, so that must be a corrupted Space Wolf that he's trying to sort of like show maybe that it's been corrupted by the power of Nurgle. Do you know what? This is a sad thing, really. Is that the IP and the lore of Games Workshop has so much to offer, and the miniatures can be so fantastic, but fuck me, do their rule systems suck balls.
Well, even ignoring the rule systems, the way they treat their lore is abysmal.
Well, yeah, their whole attitude to doing business, yeah, that's another thing that's not.
Look, a tank with pinky eye.
So this is a really old one because Doug's quite a big hitter, isn't he? He often appears in. Doug's got more than one golden button, hasn't he? I'm sure I've seen his name. I think
so. I'm not keeping track of other people's golden button besides mine.
Okay, my favourite entry is the last of the Poxwalkers, and there's nothing.
Well, that was the last one.
That's fucking brilliant. Good job, Doug.
Congratulations on your golden button.
Do you know, thanks, Stephen. I wasn't really expecting it because, like, as you guys who know watch the stream, I literally just smashed those models out with the most basic bitch paint job, and I was quite surprised to get the old golden button. But I guess it just goes to show, we don't. What it goes to show is OTT don't give golden buttons out for being golden demon level painting. What they give it for is other things.
Yeah, the first gold button I got awarded was my Star Wars Legion terrain on a budget, which was basically the plastic inserts from the game sets with spackle and sand.
Do you have? So here's a question then, Tim. Do you have a secret cache of bloody plastic and packaging that you will one day convert to the most awesome sci-fi terrain table, or do you resist the urge to hoard stuff like some sort of weird Stig of the Dump, if you even know who Stig of the Dump is?
Well, let me put the answer this way. I do occasionally need to clean up this room and get rid of stuff. Just because my space is so limited. So, yeah, there are things I do keep because I see them and I see shapes in it.
Yeah.
Especially
you look at it and go, "Oh, that would make a great fountain."
Yeah, it's especially when it comes to packaging from IT electronics, and you get these paper mache arty things, foam pressed.
Yeah.
And you just flip them around, and all of a sudden you have a miniature city or a trench run. Or no, don't keep it.
No, I'll be honest. Going back to pretty much when we moved to Scotland, I must have got rid of like a fucking 3 or 4 bin bags full of just old packaging and shit out of my garage. And it was like having had that cathartic experience, I've managed to resist the urge to build that stockpile back up again. Yeah. And long may that continue. But oh my God, is it tough to resist?
There are 3 things.
I wonder if it's it might be an old gamer thing. I wonder if the young bloods don't know what, because it's like, why the fuck would you do that? Just buy your train like a normal person.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I have to confess, there are 3 things I do keep collecting because I see value in them.
Okay.
Thing number 1.
Here we go.
Little tiny plastic tubes where the sparkly tablets come in for vitamins
your
and
vitamin
stuff.
C effervescence and that.
Yeah, because I use them to keep my little metal plates and washers that I put under the miniatures.
Here he is. He's in the chat. Hello, Doug.
Hello, Doug. And reason number 2, small little tiny things can be collected in them and stored away safely on a tight space. Thing number 2, I might lean out.
Now we're
radio
both
scans. Because reasons.
So basically, a bigger version of the thing you've just had in your hand.
Yeah, and
so essentially, if it's a tube, you'll keep it.
Or if it's a box that comes with a lid.
Fucking hell! Nobody buy him cannellini.
No, that's Haribo's.
Fuck's sake! So basically, short, fat cylinders.
Yeah, basically. But with the lid that closes, so yeah. What's the plastic sitting on top of your unbuilt TT Combat? Venice?
Orinoco, mate. Sorcerer milk. What the fuck? Such a bitch. No, I didn't even own all the unpainted TT Combat then. I've added that since. And anyway, it's not all unpainted.
See?
One piece is painted.
See, Dave? Take some notes. Paul is painting his stuff.
Fucking hell. Right. So, yeah.
On to the next, since we have summoned the Doug.
Yeah. Hey, this is great. This is like Beetlejuice. We're going to have the whole fucking lot in.
Yeah, just don't go Bloody Mary. It might go sideways. When you're forced to drink beverages.
Beetlejuice. Orinoco, nice. That's more than mine. Look, mate, I'm not casting no shade. Fucking,
Alisar.
I know how hard it is. So,
I'm guessing this is one of your pet peeves as well?
again, the reason I picked this was because I saw this was quite an interesting project. So immediately I saw the title, and as guys who may or may not know, I decided to be the only bloke in the world who did Fall of Singapore for bolt action. So I did like that really early war Japanese British, and I did a project on it. So I saw this when I was getting prepared for tonight, and I was like, "Woo! Let's see what this has got in it." And it wasn't what I was expecting. And what's cool about this project is it's like a 180 pivot. At the beginning of the project, basically Elisar's doing North Africa, and he wants to do, because obviously he's an Oz himself, isn't he? He's doing Australians for North Africa. And then in his most recent post, he says, I think there's something coming up on the TV, which I don't fucking watch. And he said, oh no, it was Chain of Command. That was it. Chain of Command are now doing a Pacific supplement or something. So he's just thought, maybe we could make this Malaya. So it's like, oh, okay then, let's do that. But it's fantastic. I think it's all. Is it 15 mil?
I think
it's
it
all,
is.
or is it 28? I couldn't make up my mind. I was looking at it. I thought, is it 28? Is it 15? But he's got an absolute metric ton of stuff. I mean, you look at the models he's got in the early pictures. This models go on forever, man.
Yeah, it's a very long running project. I think it's not finished yet.
No, and like I say, I think he started it in one way, abandoned it for ages, and then he's just suddenly thought, "Oh, I remember that. Let's come back to this one." But yeah, as I say, anybody who does Fall of Singapore is immediately going to grab my attention because it's like, oh, I'm not the only fucking idiot. But well, again,
to be fair, it's hard.
It's my sort of project as well, Tim, in that it's not too try-hardy. I find try-hardy stuff a bit intimidating. But it's basically just like, oh, I've got a fucking ton of soldiers here, so do you know what? Let's get the fucking things painted and so we can play with them. And it's great. It's a fantastic little project.
Yeah, it really is. And again, one Jerry has already talked about in length, and I still can't tell much other than go on with it. Get it done.
Yeah,
and do some battery reports on it.
Yeah, definitely. Just to make me feel better, because then I'll know I'm not the only one. And then, because again, there's been nothing mentioned of what you're going to do. Do you have a friend who's going to do the opposition, going to do the Japanese forces, or is that going to be down to you? Because obviously with my bolt action, I had to do both. Because like nobody in Scotland was in bolt action, and only David's really interested at our current club. So
I think I know why you're confused about the scale. If I remember correctly, Jerry told me that this is what started as 28 and then scaled to 15. So
yeah,
I think
it's these little puddle-based minis. I was looking at them thinking, oh, what scale are they then? So actually, you think it's changed?
Yeah, he says about the project, I dug up quite a few World War II 28 Aussies. Then I bought some more. But the last entry is about the gun being rescaled for 50 mil.
Oh, is it a print? I bet it's a print then, is it?
Gun is a 3D print.
Yeah. It's your 15 mil. Okay.
Oh, it's scaled up. Yeah. So it's 28
That'll
mil.
That'll teach me to read things properly, won't it? Yeah. Well done, Tim.
Who can be asked to read in nowadays?
Well, ironically enough, and this will come up later with some of my other choices, perhaps uncommonly, I do like quite text-heavy projects. Do you know what I mean? If I open up a project and it's just lots of pretty pictures, I very quickly move on because, again, it's just my nature. If there's lots of spiel for me to go through, I feel like I'm learning something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's personal taste, I guess.
Yeah, I really have a hard time reading text on screen, so I always need to force myself to read stuff properly and not just skim it. And
Yeah.
especially in places like the forums and the comments, it's very hard for me not to just go whoop, not go into details. So I actually need to take my time reading stuff and say, yeah, this needs an answer.
So Doug's got, I have a USMC force and a Japanese force painted over COVID.
Painted over
So is
the
that,
event.
so that's for like later war, innit? The island hopping stuff. Is that all bolt action 28mm then, Doug? I guess he'll respond.
In about 30 seconds.
It's bolt action sex with an engine. Possibly, mate.
It depends on good lubrication and a very frequent back and forth motion.
I was going to say, it's a good job that's come up on this stream and not my stream, because David is an engineer by trade. So that could be awkward.
Why?
Well, is bolt action sex with an engineer? Like, if we're having bolt action bat reps, that could be awkward.
Well, we would have to ask his missus.
That's true.
Does sex with your friend count as bolt action?
I was going to say, Doug, feel free to come along on Thursday and ask Spam and Egg whether that is actually bolt action.
I feel this is now a category for Pornhub. Bolt action battle reports.
Okay, now David feels got out enough already without that. Okay, now I'll never hear the end of it.
Is that the level up from a hot tub stream? Nah, that's still very innocent.
I can't afford a hot tub, mate. The closest I get is fucking pouring a bucket of warm water over David.
I think that would be fun.
I should pay his mother to walk in behind him and just fucking do that, shouldn't I? Just walk into it. Before he moves out and buys his own house, I'll just say to his mum, just walk into the room while he's on camera, pour a glass of water over his head.
Buy the biggest super soaker you can get and just make her go in. Daka, 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 daka.
Oh, mate, yeah, I should do that. That is so fucking funny.
Nice. Speaking of daka, daka.
Right. Boom. There you
Let's
go. There's
go.
your next one.
Big Tongs by Paul Cuts Life. Clive?
That looks pretty cool.
Paul Cuts Clive? Whatever.
That tank is fucking
it's amazing.
So Paul Sutcliffe. I imagine that's his actual name.
Could be.
As I am Paul Hemsel, he is Paul Sutcliffe. Not very imaginative, mate, but you know, we go with that. So we got lots of little Imperial Guard. Do you know what? This reminds me of my early Imperial Guard army from the 80s. Better painted, to be fair.
Well, this project has been dormant for 5 years, so...
But that is a nice commissar. A very nice commissar. Some Lehman Russes. Oh my God, we've got it all in here.
I forgot to hit all me buttons, almost. That would be horrible. Yeah, Commissar Big Hat looks especially nice with the very... sorry. Classic paint job of black and red. Though he could have gone with a little, what you call it, drill to make the barrel.
What did he not drill out? That's my pet peeve.
The barrel on the Commissar.
Yeah, true. That is big enough, that gun. You could have easily fucking drilled that out. Lazy bastard.
It's a fucking bolter.
Just being fucking lazy. And those fucking weapon teams, they need to be drilled out as well. What are you doing, man? Come on. Sort your life out. Fucking hell.
Can you imagine you would need to drill barrels on the tank tops?
I drilled barrels out on my Flames of War, for fuck's sake.
You're mad. I think we have established that by now.
David was like, fuck off.
Yeah, but it's I mean,
I
all
quite
the
like
details...
this project, Tim. I tell you what, he says in the first post he's not sure about the yellow, but I disagree, sir. I like the colour scheme. I like that green and yellow.
Yeah, it does work.
Yeah, that works for me.
Also,
and it looks... I like the approach as well. Fucking paint everything green, slap a few details on, wash it, bang.
Done.
Yeah.
So what
Or
really drives me a bit nuts is Games Workshop can do nice miniatures, and why don't they do drilled barrels of the guns? I mean, they do so many intricate things. Why stop at the barrel?
there might. I don't know. I don't know enough about pressing plastics. There might be a reason why that it doesn't work, but I don't know.
Yeah, James, I think the old tanks all have bottoms.
Ooh.
I mean, come on, this is the most hilarious Games Workshop has ever been. Like, yeah, there's nothing under our tank.
I mean, yeah, but to be fair, again, when all that kicked off, because wasn't it the weird sort of Lehman Russ variant, the most modern one? And,
Yeah,
and just so they could put more shit in the kit, they left the bottom plate off the tank or something. It's
I think Peachy on the
they ran
Painting
out of
Face
room on the
talked about
sprue.
it, and I think it was either to make a third sprue to put all things in, or just leave the bottom out and be done with 2 sprues, and that way cutting costs. And
It's like I sort of agree that a bit too much was made of it. A, because it's easy enough to patch if you're a half competent hobbyist. Fair comment, and it's the bottom of the tank anyway. Who gives a fuck? But ultimately, if you're going to stand up there and say we produce the best models in the industry, how
Make
about
it
some
complete.
attention to fucking detail? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, if you were selling me the kit for like 12 quid, it'd be like, fuck it, the base plate's missing. That's don't matter. I'll go and get some plastic card from Hobbycraft. Fix that fucker.
Or
But
even
I don't know what was the kit 70, 80 quid.
Yeah,
It's like, fuck
wasn't
off.
cheap.
You are taking the piss.
I think if they would have just put in a A5 sheet of plastic card to DIY yourself.
No, mate, they wouldn't have done that. Games Workshop would have sold it for you for 20 quid as an upgrade. Or it'd be Forge World.
I think
So
somebody actually made that
a resin
Photoshop
plate for like 40 quid to put on the bottom of your tank.
They would make it from resin with a big chunk base saying Forge World. Yeah.
See, Demon Sub's being sensible. Look, you can't have undercuts on plastic mold. You have to have 2 parts. That's because I haven't. It's probably been about 15 or 20 years since I bought a Games Workshop kit because I fucking detest the company so much. But back in the day when you used to buy the Land Raider kit, the las cannons all did come in 2 halves, and then you had to glue them together.
And they not even have a drilled out barrel.
Yeah, and obviously, presumably, that was why they were done that way, so that they could create a barrel hollow, and then you just had to glue it together and then mount it in your side sponson. Yeah.
Extra rules with plastic card upgrade.
Yeah.
Don't give him ideas, lads.
It increases. It gives it an invuln when you put the bottom on. It gets a 5 invuln. That's what it is.
It's not open topped. It's lower topped. Lower open.
Open bottomed.
Oh God, I feel this is going terribly well.
Ah, dear. You could have had. To be fair, do you know what was a criminal shame? Nobody modelled it like a Fred Flintstone car with loads of little guardsman feet out the bottom running it along. That was a hobby opportunity missed. I'm just saying, everybody. Get on.
The first thing it reminded me of was the very well-known orc troop that looked like a Land Raider when put together.
Have you an orc?
You never seen those?
No, I don't think so.
Somebody took was it Land Raider? What's the small transport called in 40k?
What, the Rhino?
The Rhino, yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Cut that into, I think, 12 parts, and then each part was mounted as a shield on an orc. And if you put them together, they look like the Rhino.
So it was like, I don't know, like
like
a
Roman
stupid,
legionaries
like an orc
doing...
transformer rhino. That is a brilliant
Uh,
idea.
it was more like Roman legionaries doing the turtle with all their shields up, and now they're looking like
A
a...
rhino tetsudo. That is fucking. Oh my god. If that's a thing, I'm gonna try and find that on the internet.
There are pictures on the internet. I think it was fourth, fifth edition when somebody did that. It's an ancient meme by now, potentially, but I've seen it more than once. It's just...
Again, something you don't see at all in Games Workshop worlds, games in general, a sense of humour. You know, fucking that's something else that's gone the way of the fucking dodo. Like, you know, decent rules and, you know, value for money and...
Yeah, you say... When Games Workshop recently announced they would do a pre-order reprint of Rogue Trader, I was really, really tempted just to have that book with that humor, just for read.
Yeah, no, I get that, mate. I mean, I owned it back in the day. My copy fell apart like everybody else's. Again, I've been having... Me and my mate Vixen from the club have been having a massive amount of fun with the Slaves to Darkness, the Realm of Chaos stuff. The old... There is still a ton of fun to be having that old 80s GW stuff. So we were looking at a copy of the first edition of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. Somebody had that kicking around the club on Monday night. Oh, man.
First edition?
Yeah, fucking hell, the nostalgia, huge, absolutely huge, man. Yeah, again, but do you know what? I've said it on our stream. The Games Workshop stuff is now so fucking expensive. Why would I buy something that they produced last week when I can only spend a few more quid and buy a genuine collectible from like 30 fucking years ago on eBay, mint, complete? You know, they're off their heads.
Yeah, but
Their
the
pricing
thing
is off their heads.
I don't think you really get how it's outside the UK. If I go on eBay and I start looking for any miniature from way back when,
Yeah,
and every seller outside the UK is grabbing your bolts, twisting them, and cutting them off.
okay,
It's
that's
only
fair.
in the UK where you can get things for more or less reasonable prices.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm talking to the Realms of Chaos project. I've been buying a lot of original metal, because obviously with Realm of Chaos, for anybody who doesn't know, you have to convert your Chaos champion. Each time you play a game, you can roll random mutations, and you have to convert your model. So I've been buying like old metal Khorne Juggernauts and old metal, the original Flesh Hounds. I picked up an original metal Flesh Hound for only £8 the other day. And it's like, you know, the stuff, you're right, it might just be a UK thing, but here the stuff can be had relatively cheaply.
Just as an example, there's an orc metal model that's originally from Gorka Morka. It's the mag with the anvil over his head, his hammer on his head, and a big flamer on the back.
Yep.
That's getting auctioned off for £40.
Yeah, I can believe it, mate. I mean, some stuff's nuts. I mean, I never had Warhammer Quest.
Yeah,
I
but
had
the same
Advanced
model
Hero
is
Quest.
about £5 in UK. So why?
Well, if you want it, mate, just let me know. I'll bid on it for you and ship it.
The only
just let me
reason
know.
why I recognize that model at first sight is because I own it. It's in the closet. And I'm really thinking, why keep it? I could sell it.
I'll be honest, I did recently with my old Iron Crown Enterprises Middle-earth role-playing stuff. I had source books kicking around for years, and I offloaded them because I was never going to do anything with them. And like I was getting 50, 70 quid. Funnily enough, all my bidders were from your neck of the woods. They were all German bidders.
Yeah, because stuff you're getting...
Middle-earth role-playing must be fucking huge where you are.
Oh hell, and it's bloody expensive, especially if you want to try to get anything original. It's mental. I've been tempted to get into Middle Earth myself, and the second I thought about it, I looked at what used prices are, and that's a cure. That's just
Yeah,
no
I'll give
way.
you that.
Nah.
It is expensive. I mean, like I say, we played the shit out of it when I was a teenager, and I really enjoyed it. We never quite, because it, for everybody who doesn't know, Middle Earth role playing was like Rollmaster Light, which was like another big RPG system from like the 80s, and it was a good system, but again, I would never do
What was the
anything with
miniature
it.
company called in? Was it Mithril or
Yes, I
something?
think it was. Yeah, yeah, Mithril rings a bell. I don't know, was that wholly owned by Iron Crown or what?
I can't remember.
I think it might have
Only
been.
thing I remember is that a friend of mine way back when had some miniatures and they had a stamp on it called Mithril. And later
That
then I
brand
had
name
Mithril
definitely
Silver from
rings a
Games
bell.
Workshop Paints.
Yeah, that brand name definitely rings a bell. Although, again, to be fair, we never had any miniatures because, like Jerry, we always played theatre of the fucking mind, the way role-playing games should be played.
Yeah, funny enough, that's how we all played it as well.
Yeah.
We had some people had miniatures painted to depict their characters or did some paintings, but actual gameplay was in the mind.
Well, again, when we were teenagers, as soon as the dinner bell rang, it was like all scoot round a desk and we'll play D&D there. It's no good having your white clean mat and your bloody miniatures then because you're playing around a 2 foot by 2 foot fucking school desk, six of you. You can't even have a GM screen. You're lucky if you've got enough room to roll any dice. That's the way we did it back in the fucking day.
Yeah, or sitting in private rooms in the afternoon, and the only table is about 60 centimeters in diameter and is round, and that's all
Yeah,
you have for your beverages and snacks, and everybody has to keep their pens and papers on their lap.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of
Are we
laps,
ready for another one then?
yeah, let's go.
You want to fucking yeah? I
Hit
tell you what,
it.
mate. Hopefully that's the next one, and I haven't just copied the
I
same
think
one again.
it's you'll find it's
Oh,
great. Port Black
fuck
Sand by
me!
Mr. Hutch.
I
So
tell you, do you know what? I said it at the beginning of the show. I don't spend a lot of time in the project system, and I tell you what, when I did go into the project system, it didn't take me long to find stuff that was like, oh my god, look at the fucking state of this. Now I know that Hutch is notorious, and this man does some insane projects, but this one for me, again, let's just get on the old nostalgia train. We've been talking about Middle Earth role playing. Here's the other thing: Final Fantasy, Jackson and Livingstone fantasy game books. So, for those who don't know, Port Blacksand is the city from the book 5 of the series, City of Thieves. And obviously, it was one of the big places in their gaming world of Alancia. And basically, Hutch is just bringing. I think it's quite a small thing that he's doing it almost as a side project to a big historicals project, isn't it? He's using some like failed prints and some offcast bits just to create a little section of black sand, almost like as an indulgence. But oh mate, the where he's the prints that he's used, the feeling that he's created, it's just fan bloody tastic. I just love this project. This was one where the pictures were as enjoyable as like the text. Just seeing all these sort of like things being brought to life that I've remember fondly from my teenage years.
yeah, and he's a very talented bastard, as
Ah,
I have
he
said way before.
insanely talented. I mean, look at it, because this is now what's it called, the Screaming Bridge. He does say in the project, because this is one of the uh, uh, one of the sort of like features of the city of Black Sand or Port Black Sand.
Singing
The
bridge.
singing bridge, not screaming bridge, because it's got skulls.
Well,
hanging
singing.
on it.
One man singing is another man screaming.
Man, but even like, and again, just as if it wasn't puke-inducing enough, you look at the fantastic job he's done creating the skull-laden sort of like ropes and that on the edge of the bridge, and then he puts, of course, these are held on by magnets so they can be removed. I say, oh yeah, of course they're just held by magnets, because I mean, you wouldn't want them to be throwing off your fucking historical look, would you? So you can always dual purpose everything. Oh, fuck off, Hutch. Just showing off.
So your stuff is magnetized, huh?
Oh my god, it's just sickeningly talented and thorough. But yeah,
sometimes
all joking aside, go and check this project out. It's particularly if you're my age and you remember the Port Black Sand and Alancia and Final Fantasy, just go there and be 14 again. It's just insane.
We all had our member berries tonight.
Yeah. Crazy good. I mean, to be fair, I haven't read this thoroughly yet. I don't know where he got the 3D prints from, but they are bloody amazing.
Can buildings have a light shot? I don't know. Here's one.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Obviously, yes.
Well, but he still needs to make them Jerry focused and very dynamic by having a little swirly.
Yeah, but yeah, fantastic stuff.
Thing is, I hate people being this talented.
Yeah,
and obviously having time and space to put out their projects like this.
I don't know. I think, again, if we're honest with ourselves, I think a lot of us, unless you've got young children, particularly if you're somebody of my age, my children have grown up and left home, and there's just me, the wife, and the dogs. I could probably find the time, but what I haven't got is the drive to achieve this sort of thing, because it is definitely it's a big amount of work, but it's just, where does he find the motivation? The motivation is the thing, mate. And because I think later, among the more recent ones, hasn't he done a market scene where nothing's painted yet, but it's just fantastic. There's so much to it.
Yeah, I'm guessing this is one of these where people actually are just loving things they're doing and are just sitting there working away on it without even thinking about not doing stuff like it.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, Tim, there must be an absolute passion there for him to find the motivation. That's part of it, isn't it? You get the motivation when you've got the passion. I mean,
just look at the sewer.
Because I know that's the thing. not content, because obviously in the game book you do go into the sewers at one point. So not content with just doing the fantastic top surface, he's now got all the sewer stuff as well, and it's just like, oh, stop, mate, stop. I would certainly, I would expect this to be a contender for Terrain Fest Ewok, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think the only thing that will be keeping this from actually winning, or maybe something winning, it's all 3D printed.
Right.
I do acknowledge that he's putting in a lot of time, effort, potentially money and material, but the actual crafting did somebody else.
Okay, that's fair. But to be, yeah.
So I do really like it. I can get where you're coming from,
a pass, though, because the creativity comes from visualizing what's there, Tim.
Yeah, but
I know what you're saying, man.
Somebody else doing a similar project and doing it from scratch.
Yeah, scratch built out of XPS foam, all hand carved. Yeah, I get it.
Or balsa wood,
I see where you're going.
Or even resin on MDF models that are upgraded with more stuff. Because it looks grand. There's no doubt about it, as long as you don't get too close and you start to see the print lines.
Yeah, here's the market scene. That's
and the print lines are what totally breaks immersion for me personally. It's just as soon as I see print lines, just look at this picture. It's almost nice because those are real, quote unquote, skulls by Games Workshop. But in the background, you have a very noticeable print lines, and my eyes get glued to these things. That's just it's unfair, I know, but I can't help it.
No, I get it. When I first started, because obviously everybody knows David's the 3D print whiz. I'm never going to be touching a 3D printer with anybody else's. It's a part of the hobby I have deliberately ostracized myself from, simply because I don't want the work. And David used to does me 3D print projects, and initially you look at them and you think, oh, that's not very good. But to be honest with you, once I've got it painted and prepped and on the table, I live with it. Because you don't notice it at gaming distance. You only notice it in these super zoomed in photos.
Yeah, I get it. But then again, I've been on tournaments where people used 3D printed stuff and it just looked horrible. But again, those were mostly done quick and easy print-offs to have gaming terrain for a tournament. But then again, why even bother?
Yeah. I mean, I totally get it, mate. Of course, the real men would be scratch building it all. But
yeah, but I guess those people would also be living in a very comfy padded cell with a very tightly hugging jacket at the end of the month.
Yeah. Or working on visual effects for the latest Hollywood blockbuster.
Yeah.
Because it's like, so you can produce that amount of work how quickly? Right, I've got a job for you.
Like,
how does 5 figures a year or 7 figures a year sound? Yeah, that sounds
like
great.
that bloke from the MS Paints.
Yeah.
He's a loony.
Yeah. He is. Oh, Scott.
Oh, before I forget, I'm a terrible streamy uncle. James Scott, thanks for all gifting the subs to various peoples around the chat.
Yeah, thanks very much, James. I noticed that going on earlier, but I thought, no, I'll ignore it just to make James feel bad. Just to make him feel like he's wasting his time.
Oh, you're so nice.
You're welcome, mate. You're welcome.
That's almost Jerry level. I feel right at home.
I'm channeling my inner Jerry. Fuck everybody.
Oh, people are cunts.
Oh, shut up, you cunt!
That's what I need. Animated pop-ups.
Like what's the other one? Lloyd with the audio.
What the fuck? I need animated pop-ups. I don't need counselling. What the fuck was that, Tim?
You need to go and ask Caesar, because he painted at some episode way back on the Weekender a Lloyd with netfish tie. Let's look at it again.
Talking of images of Lloyd that we don't want, did anyone see the Weekender, the Sunday show, and fucking Jerry just put that picture of, I don't know, I assume it was Lloyd's face. Lloyd's face photoshopped onto some fucking weird 80s metalhead in sex black leather. It was like, what the fuck is that?
I've seen it. I've screen grabbed it. Now I know what I remember to put into a button.
Do you know what, James? I was just thinking. I didn't pick any Saga projects, so we won't be able to use the Tim's little button. Saga! Fucking
Like I need any reason to use my buttons.
Oh dear. Well, to be fair though, you won't hear me moaning about mold lines, because if I did that, I'd be a massive fucking hypocrite. It's like, you know, there's only so much time in one's life to fucking obsess about stuff. Do a good job. Do a job as good as you can, and then fucking move on.
You, sir, just called me a hypocrite.
Unintentionally, obviously. So, shall we do our next one, as I put it in the chat about 20 minutes ago, before it scrolls off the screen? And everybody's like, what are they fucking talking about? He hasn't posted it. I did, damn you.
So, next URL would be going to... Drum roll, please. That
It's
was
more
a
fucking.
hit and a miss.
It's more fucking Imperial Guard, mate. What the fuck? You hate GW. What the hell?
Did you put it in chat because chat is not reacting?
Yeah. Look.
It's not in chat.
See, look, right, if we go to where James says, ha ha, chat, if you go up, just above it, Warhammer
my
40k
chat
Guard Armored...
has stopped working, obviously, because my last chat is on mold
quick,
lines.
somebody hashtag technical difficulties. Ewok's there.
Yeah,
Good
Ewok is showing up. That's odd. So you've put the link on, so here goes. Nothing. Chat needs to...
there it is. I can put it again. See if I can... It's probably still on my clipboard. If I paste, yeah, look, should I just spam chat with it?
Now it's showing up. Whatever. Which? Why you do this?
Tightly scripted. Well, something's tight, James. I don't think it's a script. Yeah, all that for more fucking guard. What was it worth it?
Yeah, no. Folly Puff. Obviously somebody
It's
who once
good,
got
though,
a gold button, but I can't remember the name, so... Potentially not a member of the site anymore, but some very big guns, to say the least.
Even demonstrating exactly what I said a minute ago. Here's the two-part. I mean, admittedly, these are for a larger guard vehicle, but here's the two. When Games Workshop used to do weapons in multiple parts, they had the barrels sculpted out.
Yeah, las guns for the win.
Talking about real men scratch build it. Does anybody here, anybody in the chat scratch build the original Baneblade from White Dwarf?
The shampoo bottle?
Out of balsa dowel, plasticard, and fucking just basically scrap. I've still got one upstairs.
I do remember...
I'll bring it out on stream one week.
I do remember trying to build one of these big orc tanks with a roller in front.
The battle wagon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they had a thing to scratch build one of them back in the day, didn't they, for second edition. Back before Games Workshop did a kit bigger than a Rhino.
Oh, and speaking of that orc vehicle, I almost went down a very, very, very dark, long and deep rabbit hole concerning 40k stuff. By pure accident, I found a eBay auction, somebody selling off just stating orc tanks.
Okay.
I took a look at the project. Indeed, orc tanks. But for Epic. About 12 or so. But the whole auction contained about, let's say, 30 tanks.
Okay.
Because the rest were whirlwinds and rhinos and other...
okay, so it wasn't... I was going to say, if that was just orc vehicles, because the only thing that I've got a lot of were the orc... It was like... The best way I can describe it is like a little wedge-shaped buggy that appeared in the Space Marine box.
A flamer?
I don't know what it was called in the game because it's been so many years. But it is an orc vehicle technically, but it's a tiny orc vehicle. It's not a battle wagon or anything big. Because I think back in the day, a lot of those were metal for Epic.
Yeah.
I had a few squat pieces, and I've got a few Imperial Guard pieces. I've got an Imperial Guard Termite. I've got a squat land train. What the fuck else have I got?
The nice thing about that auction was it was without any bidders starting at €1.
Fuck me. Is it live now?
Now it went for 2 days.
And
I
what
put
did
in
what
a
did it close
maximum
out
bid
at?
of 20 euros in, and I got outbid.
Oh right, okay. I if that went for 20 euros, I'll be fucking shocked.
Yeah, basically
I
it wasn't
do-
much more because my highest bid was 20 and some odd number in the back just for funsies, and the next winning bid was literally 50 cents more. So somebody has actually sniped that. So
Somebody's got a fucking bargain there.
Yeah,
If that was the old metal bagel wagons, Jesus Christ.
that's the only reason why I went for it in the first place, because it was whirlwinds, rhinos, battle wagons, and all the good orky stuff.
Yeah, whirlwinds would have been good to have as well because they weren't plastic. The rhinos and the land raiders, you got a fuck ton of those on plastic sprue in the core Space Marine game. And you got Eldar grav tanks, the orc sort of like buggy thing, the weird wedge shaped thing. But yeah, I've got shadow swords. I got myself 3 shadow swords, I think it is. So I've got a sort of a company of those in metal. I should dig out. I keep saying to myself that's one of the projects I'm going to resurrect and try and get some guys playing something like Net Epic Gold, which is still out there as fan supported. I
Do
used to
some
love Epic.
necromancy on miniatures.
Yeah, I bloody loved Epic back in the day. Back in the day.
When we were younger, the teeth were real. The eyesight was better.
I was going to say I've still got my own teeth, but that's about the only thing. I am fucking blind.
Well,
and the wife says deaf. So
I still got most of my teeth.
There's nothing wrong, Demon. Wash your mouth out, sir. There is nothing wrong with sniping on eBay. It's the only way to bid.
Yeah, technically you can't be wrong.
15 seconds to go. Put it in. Oh.
I wouldn't mind getting outbid if it wasn't for 50 cents.
Yeah, that's got to suck, actually.
But it was to be expected since somebody started getting the numbers up and then...
Orinoco, has anyone got a Werther's original? That's
yes, it's in the kitchen, in the little bucket with the sweets.
J.R. Hartley.
Oh, please. Let's go on. Give the lads and lasses another link to look at.
Let's have it. Oh, this is me again. Right, okay, right. Let's copy this.
Of course, it's you again because we said we do it in turns.
So this is where I'll leave that till the end. So this was my next pick. Number of reasons I picked this. Do you remember earlier when I said I love me a project that's got a ton of waffle? Welcome to that project.
Waffle.
There is a huge amount in this project. Now, I picked this for a number of reasons. The first reason I picked this is because it's actually a chap who's designing Apple Mac here. He's designing, basically coming up with his own rule set to play English Civil War, which is fucking mad because there must already be 156 rule sets to play English Civil War. So why you would do that, I don't know. That's utter fucking madness. But
maybe he doesn't like the ones that exist, or maybe he has a hard time getting the rules.
I am being hyperbolic. I mean, ultimately, you guys know in this hobby we do exactly what we want. And do you know what, sir? If you want to create your own rules and reinvent the wheel, you fucking do that. And good credit to you. So I'm, as everybody who watches our stream knows, I'm the rules guy. I get more excited about the intricacies of the mechanics of a game than I do about the gorgeous sculpts and the miniatures and that sort of thing. This is my warm, comfy space. So that immediately drew me to this project and made it like, oh yeah, I've got to call this out. Secondly, my friend V that I spoke about earlier, who's been doing the Games Workshop with me, is actually an English Civil War reenactor. But somebody who doesn't do a lot of historical wargaming, he just does the fantasy side, mostly Games Workshop. But we talked about bringing English Civil War to the table. So the other thing that was nice about this project is that it's just English Civil War gaming, which is something that I'm probably going to be exploring next year. I don't think I can fit it in the schedule this year But it is definitely something that I'm going to be going to, I think, in the future. But yeah, it is, as I say, it's definitely not a dip your toe in and then sort of like walk away project. If you're into crunch, if you're into your game mechanics and thinking, really thinky stuff, great project, awesome project.
Yeah. Also, Apple Mac has a way with his projects. Every time he pops up, it's something like, "Why would you do that?" I know I can see why you do it, but why?
Yeah.
The last thing he did was his tiny scale wooden game marker houses from little pieces of wood. We looked at that last week, I think, or the week before. It's just
Yeah.
he's mental.
Yeah, but is it madness or is it genius?
He's a man of dedication and will.
Yeah, fucking awesome. And again, the other thing is obviously English Civil War seems a great period to actually game historically. I'm a Brit, so I suppose it's gonna be right in my alley. But it's just this is what inspired Game of Thrones, wasn't it?
Yeah. Also, I think this is possibly a way of looking at gaming that's more like this is the birthplace of modern tabletop wargaming. As it's not a game per se, but it's actually a thing to think about.
Yeah, it's more than a game. There are elements of historical study to it. Is that what you mean, Tim?
No, it's how to put it. You remember Peter Cushing playing with his
Yes.
little toys on his table and telling the reporter what he did. This is basically on the same level. It's somebody in his own mind recreating new stuff and making up wars
Gotcha.
and
Yeah.
rules and it's this heart and soul of the hobby. It's not the all the new shiny and blingy and highly intricate detailed miniatures. It's what really drives most creators.
And yeah, because like ultimately he's only doing it for himself.
Yeah, and the son,
which is like the purity to it, isn't it? Noted, James. I saw that victory without quarter. I will have a look, sir. Is that one scale agnostic or is it at a particular scale? Just asking for reference.
Welcome,
because
Rob.
I
Long
have
time no see. I hope you're feeling well, mate.
Yeah, hi,
Yes.
Grimwolf.
James, I think you TIW 30 Years War, I guess you mentioned, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, 30 Years War.
To be brutally honest, historical.
Okay, any scale noted. Thanks, James. Awesome, mate. Thank you.
I might be weird in that way. I'm closing in on my 50s and I have no intent of playing anything historical.
Really?
No.
Does it? Has it? Because to be fair, it's corrupt. I know it's a cliche, but it has.
But cliches come from somewhere, and that is how it's happening.
10 years ago, I'd have been like, historical. What? Why? What the fuck? But I totally get why people would disappear down a fucking rabbit hole now. Obviously, I've done a bit of bolt action. We played around with trench offensive. We've looked at English Civil War. I totally get it. I totally get why somebody would be just like, goodbye.
Tell my wife I loved her.
That's interesting. Why? So why is that, Tim? Why are you weird? Why are you holding out?
It just grabs me. For some odd reason, I see people enjoying their hobby. I see the lovely painted miniatures and tables, and it's just something I go, yeah, that's nice. What else is there?
Yeah, so it's literally,
maybe,
it does not inspire you at all. Too dry?
Maybe it's just because it's historical, and historicals are, well, they're based in history, so you need to follow certain known facts. You can't just put Commander A on a continent he's never been to.
Well, you can if you want. I mean, it's
Yeah,
fucking
it's your game.
gaming.
You
can
could
do
do,
what
but-
you can do what you like. But here's a corollary question. Obviously, true story. My worst exam result ever was a history exam, 27%. In my O-level mocks, going back a few years now, lads. So I could not be said to be a fan of history, and not only have I grown to have an interest in history more recently as I've got older, the historical wargaming's come with that. So are you interested in history at all? Are you could you sit and watch like these really dry BBC documentaries on the kings and queens of Europe and that? Or are you like, what? Why the fuck would you do this?
Let me answer this by telling you I'm watching on YouTube the what are they called? The guys that dig up bones.
Time Team.
Time Team.
Okay, yeah.
So there is an interest.
So you've started then. You've started.
He'll
He'll get there, lads. He'll get there.
For as long as I can think. A proper made documentation is all nice and shiny, but yeah, it's gaming wise, it's not really interesting.
So you do have the history or historical interest, but you not saying never say never, but the gaming side of it, it's like, no, it's history. I don't game it.
Yeah, it's just currently doesn't. The thing is,
Oh, mate, Redverse. Warren doesn't seem to care much about historical. Redverse, what are you saying? And then fucking James, Star Wars is historical.
Yeah, it's. Let's put it this way. Fantasy and sci-fi, I couldn't be bothered if anybody would tell me, yeah, but that's not the correct way. This isn't how it was. It's fucking made up in the first place. Go play in traffic.
Yeah.
But
so like people who sort of say, well, in the canon, in the lore.
Yeah, that kind of thing. It's
like somebody made it up.
Maybe there's something deeper inside me that's keeping me from doing certain things, because I suddenly remember having a very livid discussion with Jerry on using X-Wing miniatures for A Billion Suns.
Yeah.
Because he said, yeah, well, why don't you use those? I said, I can't use those because they're the wrong scale.
Oh, God.
And by that, I don't mean they're the wrong scale for the game. They're the wrong scale in my mind. I can't use a fighter as a capital ship.
Okay, Tim, whatever.
It's just...
Just buy some Armada, then.
That's also the wrong scale.
Oh, God. You're making it so hard. Don't make it so hard.
Oh, I can make it even harder.
Oh,
I won't.
Hopefully, he won't make it any harder on camera. That is not why we're here. That's a completely different Twitch stream. That's what I said, James.
That's something for OnlyFans. Look, I never said it's wrong the way other people do it. I actually am on record saying maybe it's a problem with me, but that doesn't make the problem go away for me.
To be honest with you, mate, all joking aside, you've got to do what you want to do. If something jars or doesn't click or is wrong for your hobby, if it's wrong for your fucking hobby, it's wrong for your hobby. It's your hobby. It's like, I mean, again, David and I have this conversation all the time. I think he does everything on fucking hard mode, whereas I take every shortcut God granted. But that's fine. I can live with stuff that he just can't, it makes him gag. So it's like, fine, whatever. That's the way it is.
Yeah, Redscope, I think you're onto something there. When you start making your own rules up to stop you gaming is next level problem creation.
Yeah.
The thing is, there's what's it? I've looked at miniatures in 10 and 6 mil scale just for the fun of it, and if they were readily available in a local shop, I probably would have gotten some by now. But for me, there's always the hurdle of you need to order stuff,
Okay.
and that just totally brings me off the beaten path because I'm unwilling to buy stuff I haven't had the chance to have in my hands before.
Okay. I mean, to be honest with you, you're a lucky man because if you can resist that, that internet doom scroll, buy me, that's brilliant because it'll stop you just wasting money.
I will tell you a secret. It's called having no money.
Yeah. You're just not trying hard enough, mate. Credit cards.
You're saying I need to sell a kidney?
Yeah, I was going to say. We're just going to say it again,
6 mil.
Tim. Fucking amateur. We've said it several times tonight. Just an amateur. Yeah. Do you know, Ewok, I went there, mate. Yeah, that's where my brain went. I'm glad you did as well.
It's streams like these. I'm very happy that chat is not on screen.
I think you're missing a trick, man.
This is how you get people coming back to Twitch. If you want the whole experience, you need to read chat.
God damn it.
So either you come back and watch the VOD as long as it's here.
That's true. Okay.
On Twitch, or you participate live. Your choice.
Okay. Fair.
And
right, are you ready for your next one then?
Yes, I think I'm barely there yet.
Hobby on a budget is absolutely hammered on GW Fanbase. Hobbying on a budget and Games Workshop. How did you get those in the same sentence, Doug?
That's very easy.
What the fuck?
Let me define why it's easy. Budget is a given amount of money. That's can be
true.
A very little amount, or it can be a mortgage on your house.
Yeah, I was going to say, even the US economy has a budget.
Yes,
I guess. So,
Hobby on a budget is a very incorrect wording.
Oh dear. You fuck it. It's a sin. It's an impossibility, mate. Right. Go on then. What's next, Tim?
It's Arion's 40k painting mess. Again, a user...
Games Workshop again.
Yes, I said to you I would be a very naughty boy
tonight. Tim is a GW fanboy. I tell you what, he's been... Does anybody else think that I'm being trolled here? He's been saving up all of these Games Workshop ones so that because he knew that if Jerry was on the screen, he would be fucking losing his shit. He probably would have walked off.
Yeah, like the one time he did and came back with his Games Workshop shirt.
Oh dear. Anyway, we get sidetracked.
Yes, Arion, which a name I'm not recognizing, but I think I've seen the avatar before, is doing interesting things with son of what's the wolf guy called again?
Oh, I don't know, Mr. Woof Woof. We've got Haldor Icepelt here, apparently.
Woof Woof.
I mean, I don't know why I'm taking the piss. If I ever do Horus Heresy, I'm going to do Space Wolves. They're the one Marine army I've never done, and I wish I had, because they've got some of the coolest, unique models, things like Wolfen and Long Fangs and that sort of stuff.
James, if I ever present on screen a 3D printer, please shoot me. In the face.
We'll all be too busy fucking dying of a heart attack, Tim.
It's going to be like what's in the Bible stated for the end of the world, the catastrophes. It's not locusts. Yeah. It's going to be me printing miniatures. Yeah,
that's it. Book of Revelations. And Tim saith unto the multitude, this is my fucking whatever. I don't even know the names of any 3D printers to finish the gag. That's how fucking bad it is.
This is my
Creality 3.
Thou shalt not have any printers beside him.
Fuck that. proxies to a saga. There we go. We got it in. Well done, Doug. And it wasn't even vaguely forced. It was brilliant.
Yeah, I'm guessing I may be at some point getting tempted to apply for certain programs with other people's going, yeah, hand me over free stuff, but actually I don't. It's just
Yeah, I'm just going to take it and run.
the only time I actually try to get into a creator's program thing of a kind is when Cromlech called for it.
All
Oh
right.
no, I liked Cromlech and Army Painter.
Yeah. Oh, what do you think about the new Warpaint Fanatic range? As you mentioned them.
They do look promising. I reserve the right for judgment until I've had them in my hands.
But what an absolute fucking topsy-turvy world are we living in, where Army Painter, after the success of Speed Paint 2.0, go from Warpaint, which is probably the most, shall we say, let's be a bit harsh and say
it's
despised. It's probably the most despised hobby acrylic range out there. To go from that, if they can have a smash hit with the Warpaint Fanatic, it's like, oh, what the hell is happening here?
You say they're most despised?
Yeah, I know. I that's why I said it with caution, because I knew from watching your Instagram and that they are paints that you use. Because you don't mind them, do you? But I think you said before that you use them because you can buy them locally.
Yeah, I could, because my friend who I'm regularly playing on Thursdays with Battletech had the local friendly gaming store, and that's what he had on sale. The other option would have been to go into the city, into the Warhammer store, and buy Games Workshop paints.
That's not an improvement. Don't do that.
Yeah, and prior to those paints, when I still ordered them, I ordered Vallejo paints. So I've got a mixture of Vallejo and Army Painter.
I mean, I've only got. I'm gonna put my hands up. I have ultramarine blue. I've used it about 3 times. It's fucking terrible. Doesn't mix. Doesn't cover. I hate it.
I think that's one of the few I don't have.
Yeah, it's not a great paint. I wouldn't recommend it.
I think the most positive thing I can say about the Army Painter paints, and this is without being a shill for Army Painter, is the matching rattle cans with bottles is a godsend.
Yeah, I'll give them that.
And the rattle cans usually work. They seem to have been having trouble with certain cans produced
they did a product
outside their
recall,
main factory.
Yeah, I think they did a recall recently.
Yeah, but again, what company does a recall? What company has the balls to say, we fucked up?
Yeah.
Bring it back.
Fair play to them.
It's not like the can is going to kill somebody. It's just not working as advertised.
Yeah, so don't use it. Don't fuck your miniatures up.
And
just
I
hold
think
fire.
The way they put the recall actually suggests that they are willing to compensate any damages.
Yeah.
Because for everybody who didn't know, the Army Painter has, I think it was a black rattle can that has been recalled because the paint dries crackly when it's drying, and they state, if you have that can, contact us. Please do not try to fix your miniature and collect some pictures and send them to us.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing.
But to be fair, that is an odd event. I've used a ton of their spray primers, particularly when I used to do paint commissions. It's a great way to get a base color down on a fuck ton of stuff really cheaply and quickly. And I've generally found them great. Train as well. I think that, I mean, who is it? Colourforge have now entered the market, haven't they? They do a pretty big range. Yeah. I've not tried them, but then again, I've never had an issue with Army Painter, so I don't know why I would.
Yeah, and the thing is, Army Painter might have gotten themselves into a bit of hot water when they started making these Dungeon Master terrain starter kits.
Yeah, they were a bit crap.
They were a bit. They weren't cheap, but they weren't extensively expensive, and I think for somebody starting in miniatures, it's a total valid starting point. If you just want, your nephew wants to start to get into the hobby, give him that kit, and he's done and set for the next few days. And if he wants to continue his journey, he can buy proper things.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
but if he doesn't,
And in fairness, they were cheap for what you got in
Relatively.
them. They were relatively good value for what was in them.
it's not as cheap as if you're buying certain things individually, but then again, that's par for the course on these kits, even without hobby tags.
Yeah, Ewok says he's got a can of the faulty shit, and it does exactly what they've said it does.
Yeah.
Oh, that's got to suck.
Yeah, that's always bad. The only time I actually had trouble with a can from Army Painter was, and I can't really tell if it was the can's fault or mine. I got horribly, what you call frosting.
Yeah.
But that could have been my fault as well, because miniatures probably weren't dry 100%.
Yeah, touch wood. I've never had one.
Red Rose, I don't think so. If you're shit at painting, that's tough luck.
Good thought, though. Good thought. It's worth asking.
You can give it a try.
I don't know about there is only Vallejo, James. There's certainly a good range. I mean, Ewok says about AK Interactive. I've looked at their products. I've never used one in cold blood. But the AK Interactive is the range is huge, man. But yeah, and they're not super expensive, he says.
And to make one final point on behalf of the Army Painter, they have in their sets these little flyers. If you have something complain, please tell us.
Yeah.
And at that point, I just gotten their wet palette, and I was absolutely fine with every product they did. And I thought to myself, if all they're getting on this email address are complaints, it might be a nice thing to have "You done well, I like your product" email.
Yeah. Do you know what?
I did write them, and I got an answer just saying thanks, made my day.
Do you know what? I read, because again, it's one of them things, we never do it, Tim, do we? We're always keen to fucking complain, but we never compliment somebody. I did exactly the same. I bought when Speed Paint 1.0 came out, I bought the set and I used it on my Assassin's Creed project, which is unfinished. Don't even bother in the chat. But I was exactly the same. Do you know what? I fucking emailed them and said, I've used these products. They're fan-bloody-tastic. When are you going to expand the color range? And it was, fair play to them. Absolutely fair play to them. And they did reply exactly as they did to you and said, thank you very much. We don't have any plans currently to expand the range, but, we will do eventually, I'm sure.
Yeah, and see where that has led us. Now we have Speed Paints 2.0 and a fuck ton of colors.
I mean, I've commented on it before. The whole development of Speed Paint 2.0, the involving of like the internet celebs and, getting community input on product development, it's like, I really like Army Painter and Mantic are two companies that I really like the cut of their jib. They can't put a foot wrong really at the minute. They've just got a fantastic approach to business, a fantastic approach to their customer base, and they just keep producing brilliant products. That's why I'm a bit overhyped probably for Warpainter Fanatic. I hope it works. Because they do get some shit for the Warpaint range, and I'm not saying it's not justified, because I've used some and they're not great paints. Even though they're fucking cheap, there are limits, to be honest.
There's a reason why they are cheap.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
of
we'll
Mantic,
see.
Did you pre-order that nice little advent calendar of theirs?
No. Oh man, but was I tempted?
I got it.
Was I tempted?
I've got it.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I've told my wife. I said, if you want to give me anything for Christmas, I very much would like that, please.
Right. Okay, so you're going to do a project on it, aren't you? And let us know whether the game's any good. Oh, it was such a genius idea.
Yeah,
Such a genius
they
idea.
they basically ripped off Games Workshop Barroom Brawl, but who fucking cares?
Yeah, yeah. For, rip away, lads, rip away, and wish them all the success.
Yeah,
So,
it's grand.
yeah.
G-Grip.
So yeah, this again. Why did I pick this? Well, the clue is in the title. I'm making a war game. If you want to get me to look at your project, make a war game and talk about rules and talk about crunch and talk about design, this is my fucking honeypot, man. It actually is a really cool idea. So it's basically wanted to create a game that was like biker gangs, which is unique enough, I guess. If you've got a shtick, I suppose it's a bit derivative of Gaslands, but with a definite theme.
Yeah, I don't know when did Gaslands release?
Oh God,
Was it pre-pandemic?
It'll be a good few years ago, yeah. Probably 2019, because I mean they're on the refueled edition now. They've actually had a sort of like a second reprint of it, haven't they? A second print of it.
Yeah, but the project starts in September 2018, so
Maybe.
And
I
he
haven't
says,
even picked up on that.
2014-15 the idea started to develop. So,
Yeah, it's been a slow burner. But he's put quite a lot up this year. It seems to have gained a bit of traction. And again, this is a lot of reading, people. This is not a load of pretty pictures. I probably some would say, why the fucking hell did you pick all these for Tim? Because they look shit on screen, Paul. What are you trying to do? It's like, what the fuck, man? But that's not the point. They're actually great projects. And he even used Speed Paint 1.0. Look at that. If you look under his motorbike pickies, his little motorbike galleries. But yeah, I'm really into this sort of stuff. For me, this is the sort of like the project that I want to just spend time studying and reading, more so than just battle reports. Battle reports are cool, particularly if they've got a strong narrative element and people are really creative. Like we've seen some other ones that, particularly if you do a battle report like a comic strip with loads of animations and stuff going on the images, yeah, I'll be looking at your battle report definitely. But this sort of game design stuff, this is my sort of bag, baby.
oh look,
And he's a boob tuber. Who'd have thought?
I think we've seen this guy before. Potentially. Yeah, this is he's talking about getting things done now via the means of bloody what they're called, templates like an X-Wing.
Okay, for movement. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean again, Gasland. I mean, if you're gonna do vehicles, probably that's the way to go. I suppose it does capture vehicle movement, in a good way, and make them feel like vehicles rather than just like people on foot. But yeah, this, as I say, definitely my sort of project. This.
Yeah.
I mean, this is Redscope says there, like the idea of biker gangs, but one gang is just on horses. This is the other thing that I love about this sort of thing. So I was thinking about game design, right? Basically, if it is a good game, shall we just reskin it as Wild West? Just saying. Just make them fucking horses.
Nah, because
Or make them Velociraptor type dinos with guys on their backs.
I think
Let's do a sci-fantasy fucking skin of it.
yeah, the thing is,
Genius.
a engine-driven movement is different than a living being just stomping around.
Well, you can make them robot Velociraptors.
Well, at that point, you can have just Dinobots running around the place. Grimlock wins!
So yeah.
Wizards riding lizards. The lizarding worlds of wizards. You're a lizard, Harry.
Oh, Wizard Harry! There's a fucking franchise I can't stand. Am I the only one? who can't stand Harry Potter. I remember back in the day when the book started to be popular, and it was like all over the fucking TV and that you'd see adults, grown adults, sitting on beaches reading Harry Potter. And then
be careful where you're going. You're the old fart sitting in a chair reading game books.
Well, no, actually reading the novels, and then I thought, oh well, what's all this about? I'll read the first Harry Potter book, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not 10. What the fuck would I want to read this for? Jesus Christ! I've read more fucking more ambitious prose on the back of a fucking cereal box. Jesus Christ!
Well, my first contact with that kind of stuff was when the first movie came into the cinemas, and that's it.
Yeah, a great example of the cinema being better than the book. And it rarely happens, but that is an example of it.
I watched the movies, I enjoyed them, and when my daughter was at the age, I think of 6 or so, we started reading the books to her because she enjoyed them.
I've got all these people, finally! Because whenever I get on this tirade, everybody's like, oh, you fucking miserable twat. They're great. It's a great story. What the fuck? And it's like, no, see, it's not just me.
Oh, and speaking of, you remember the spin-off, Magic Animals and Where to Find Them?
Oh, yeah, Fantastic Beasts.
Yes,
never seen any of them.
So the first 2 iterations have Johnny Depp as the quote-unquote villain in them.
Yep.
And then the lawsuit with his ex-wife happened, and the studio dropped him. And in the 3rd episode,
that ended badly, just saying.
In the 3rd episode, he's replaced by Matt Mickelson. So you have a very noticeable break in storyline. Because it doesn't really work.
Does Nicholson play even the same character?
Yes.
Because obviously
he does.
I bet that's a bit disjointed because there's not many people I can manage to pull off a Johnny Depp performance with a great deal of conviction.
And the worst part is the story is horrible.
You don't surprise me, Tim, which is why I've made precisely 0 fucking effort to watch it.
To be fair, the first one is a lovely movie. The first one is nice. It's an interesting little magic story that's only adjacent to the Harry Potter world, and it's got nice effects, and the sidekick is very lovely. It's a little old man having a bakery and falling in love with a woman completely out of his class, but somehow it works.
Okay.
But don't go and watch the 2nd or 3rd. They just ruin everything.
They're just trash.
Yeah.
Again, I'll be honest with you, though. I think the last movie I went to see in the cinema was Two Towers, which goes to show you the last time I went to a cinema.
Last time I went to cinema that I can recall was Mad Max.
Yeah. The Hollywood don't know when to just leave things. It's like, make a great film, fucking walk away. Not everything is a trilogy, okay?
The Hobbit?
Again. Oh yeah, I've got a great idea. Let's make 6 hours of film about a fucking short story for toddlers. Yeah, let's do that. Oh no, hang on. Let's fucking not. How about we don't do that?
I was so baffled back in the day when they said, yeah, he did Lord of the Rings. Now he's doing The Hobbit. I thought to myself, that's going to be challenging to take this little book into a full movie. It's going to be a 3-part movie. The fuck?
Challenging? Challenging isn't the word, Tim. It was definitely...
to be fair, make a 90 to 2-hour movie from the book isn't far off. You can push it.
And he did.
Yeah, but he pushed it over the edge.
He pushed it off a cliff.
Off the side of the Discworld into the ether.
Up Artuin's ass. It went.
Yeah, I just remember the one picture from Gandalf sitting in the green screen room looking depressed the fuck, waiting for the dwarves to be cut in Bilbo's little hall. God.
Yeah. Fucking how are the mighty fallen? Quick, somebody call my agent. What the fuck?
Quick! let's go to the next project.
Boom. Look at that. Is that quick enough for you?
Nicely done, lad. For the Emperor.
More fucking
Imperial
guard.
Army.
What? So what we've learned from this stream, everybody, is that Tim is hard for guard.
There's nothing against proper man in uniform.
Even if he's got a life expectancy of 12 minutes.
Affix bayonets and march forward. I think this is not a Games Workshop model at all.
No, it isn't. I was just looking at the helmet on the pilot and thinking, that's not GW.
No.
The arms might be, because those do look like guard shoulder pads, but that helmet ain't.
He doesn't tell where that's from.
It's unusual. I'll give him that. I don't dislike it. It's a cool little vehicle. I probably wouldn't play 40k with it, but it is a cool little vehicle.
Well,
I'll tell you, he says about, because he used the MIG products for the weathering, didn't he? The weathering's a really good job.
Yeah.
See, that's the sort of level of stage that I never get to with a model, because I get sort of like, it's painted and I slap some wash on it and it looks grimy and that's it. I'm walking away.
Yeah, and I'm always
not
scared to ruin the model even more.
It's like, because people do like chipping effects and all sorts of stuff. I mean, it does look great when it's done well.
I think this thing might have been a toy at some stage, because just look at the molding on the sides.
Yeah, I was going to say that the mold lines and the fucking bad molding on the driver, it could easily be, like you say, a cheap kid's toy that's just been tied.
I'm guessing it is a cheap kid's toy that has just been upgraded with various bits and bobs from sprues.
It's not bad though.
No, it's not.
And it's
it's definitely a way to get your army cheaper than
and it's
to buy.
Definitely, yeah. This is
full scale.
the cash investment that 40k is worth, everybody. To bargain bin toys from your local pound shop.
Though I don't really get how he went going, this is Imperial Guard, but the transfers all say Blood Ravens.
Yeah.
And I only know that because they're part of one video game. I think it was
Dawn of War, wasn't it? Blood Ravens?
Wasn't it Space Marine? No, Space Marine was Ultramarines.
Yeah, Space Marine was Ultra
That must have been Dawn of War. Yeah, Dawn of War, that's right.
The Australian Omega boys.
Oh, and speaking of, who did it just tell? Where is he going? Red Scope. Buying tanks, making me go buy miniatures. This is going to go horrible.
Demons of my deluxe hardback copy of The Hobbit is 307 pages. Are you sure that's not the fucking screenplay, mate, for the movie series? Are you just trolling us? What the fuck?
Or maybe it's the one for people with hard to read eyesight.
Or is it, or has it got Tolkien's ubiquitous appendixes on it? Fucking hell. Tanks.
Donks. So
So what's that? I can see it's obviously a German copy of something. Is that World of Tanks?
It's the predecessor to World of Tanks. It's basically just tanks made by K-Force 9.
Oh, okay. Learn something new every day.
It comes with two little Shermans.
So what scale is it? Because funnily enough, we were talking about armor games at the club this week.
See?
So they're 28 mil.
No, not bolt action.
Flames of War, 15 then. 15
yeah.
20 mil.
So there's two of these.
Okay.
Which I painted black with.
Were they ninja tanks then?
No, it's the trims are painted like on Tron, so a dark violet.
Okay.
And then there's a tiger in. Guess the color of the tiger, please.
Orange with white stripes? Orange with white and black stripes?
No.
Oh, okay.
Guess again.
Blue?
Wrong. One more.
Well, it's not going to be any normal color. If you've done one
It's
colour,
bloody pink.
white, pink. Oh, for fuck's sake, man.
And it's got a Hello Kitty painted on front.
That is pretty cool, actually. Do you know what? I'm just saying, you might have fucking won in 45 if you'd have been that brave with your tanks. Yeah, you know, I'm just saying now that could have been a thing.
You know what inspired me to paint a pink panther?
I just got that. Oh my god, that's. Do you know what? That is even more. That is next level fucking genius.
Yeah, I'm very much proud of that. But to
Oh
be fair,
my
the inspiration came from that movie with the pink submarine.
Yeah, yeah. What was the other type? So you had a panther versus what?
Two, was it M1s? No, oh, bloody hell. How should I know?
Sherman M1s.
Sherman's.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Panther against Sherman. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And the Sherman comes with two different types of turret.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, James. Apparently, that was actually a pink panther. What the absolute?
Yeah. Also, there's a project on OTT on this, so if you want, go look at it.
Yeah.
It's been some good time
if you
that
want
I
to
made
know
that,
how to
but
paint a tank bright fucking candy pink, Tim's got you covered, everybody.
with white edge highlights and a little Hello Kitty on front.
Oh god. Oh god, make it stop.
I told you it's Halloween.
I just see Demon Sub's comment. Apparently, you can read the book in less time it takes to watch all 3 films. Fucking hell.
That's
Yeah,
not really hard, is it?
you're not wrong, Demon. You are not wrong, son.
Shall we go on for the last entry of
Last
today's
one. And this
winners?
is a cheat. Okay, this is a cheat because effectively, the English Civil War one we had earlier from Apple Mac, this is it's essentially the same choice, because you know what we were saying earlier about you can sometimes put too much in a project. Well, Apple Mac decided to take all of the hobby and army building and that sort of shit, the painting, and put it in this project and leave the rules and the game crunchy stuff in a separate project. See what he did there? What he did there was fucking genius.
So basically, he did what you want everybody else to do.
Yeah. And do you know what? Man gets a shout out for that, for being an absolute fucking legend again. Because if you want to know how to make it all look really pretty, then you can come here and look. And it does look very good. I mean, a couple of people in chat commented on how good his tables looked in the other one. Well, here you can see how he got them to look that bloody good. Or if you want if you're more interested in the long-winded blah about what did go on, pop across to the other project, and there you go. Robert is your mother's brother, as we would say.
To put it into simple terms, you like pretty pictures, go here. You like long words, go the other way.
Go here. Yeah, you got it. You got it.
I'm smart.
To be fair, you know, we should get what's his name, Jackson. Maybe he could do a 6-hour epic on his other project. There's probably enough text there.
I was going to say Steve Jackson, but that's the wrong one.
Yeah, no, there's too many Steve fucking Jacksons as it is. We don't need another one.
Yeah, but to be fair, Mr. Jackson has done some very nice movies prior to Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I mean, again, to be fair, I often get into arguments at our local club, because if you were to ask me, I'm afraid I'm of the opinion that the Lord of the Rings trilogy also represents films that are actually better than the books. I read the Lord of the Rings trilogy when I was a teenager. I tried to come back and read them as an adult, and fuck me, is the pacing laboured in that. I didn't manage to finish Fellowship. I was like, no, this is too dry. Writing history, JRR, my old matey, stick to writing history textbooks. That you are good at. Fucking prose, not so much.
Well, as I have told Chad before, I've read the books in German and in English. And
masochist.
Yeah.
Do you rate them?
I did what?
Did you rate them? Did you think they're okay, good, as books? In the way that they're written, not necessarily the story, because I think it can go. We can take it as read. The story is fucking amazing. The world building is fucking amazing.
The English version, I will not put a rating on, simply because I needed a dictionary to read it.
And it's not your first language.
Yeah, and
so,
it was a. I can't even remember why I started doing it. It was just a challenge to myself, I guess.
Yeah, I tell you what, good on you. Yeah, good on you.
And the translated versions...
I with my fucking schoolboy German, I struggled to read a front page of Die Welt, let alone a fucking Lord of the Rings in German. But you know, good for you.
But to be fair, the translation I read, because there are multiple translations. Why wouldn't there? The original translations I read, I liked. I enjoyed the book as is, but also I'm not a very concentrated reader most of the times. I take my turn and then it goes on for some time. I can lose myself in a book, but that happens rarely.
Yeah. I used to read a lot when I was younger, but it's a habit I sort of fell out of. But I do enjoy a good book. Basically what I read now is either detective fiction, or I am rereading Game of Thrones again, in the vainest hope and anticipation that we actually get Winds of fucking Winter at some point before I die.
That's one of the reasons why I'm not starting to read those books. If I can't be sure that those actually get a finish, I'll be pissed. So I'm not spending my time on those.
Well, if I can encourage you to read them, I will, because they're fucking amazing books. They're really well written. They're extremely readable. Some people say because I mean, again, you can tell he was a scriptwriter originally. The dialogue's brilliant. I think they're great books, and they're very readable.
I'm not going to argue about that, but if I can't have a complete story arc, I'm not going to. I'm just not.
Just enjoy the journey, Tim. Enjoy the fucking journey, man.
I've watched the first 2 seasons, and it's fucking boring.
I tell you what, you can fucking tell that you don't live in the UK. When we get on a train, we just enjoy the journey. If we get to a destination, it's a fucking bonus. You know, it's like you're spoiled. You goddamn Europeans.
Perhaps, maybe invasion wasn't so bad after all.
Oh dear. Yeah, you could learn a thing from us, you know.
Well, to be fair, currently I'm reading up all of the old Battletech novels. I'm currently at episode 37, and there's still much to go.
Yeah, I mean, I started exploring a bit of GW fiction, but again, fucking hell, it's not very well written, some of it. I mean, it's fine, I guess. There's nothing
what you're expecting from someone. If I go and read a book in 40k lore, I actually don't expect anything.
No.
Because it's space poster boys shooting all the animals.
I tell you what, though, here's a thing, right? Okay, so you make a valid point there, right? Normally, when you see fiction and it's based on an IP or it's licensed and it's basically some fucking author that some jobbing author who's not good enough to make themselves famous by writing their own stuff, so they get some fucking contract to churn out a GW novel or a fucking My Little Pony novel, right? Here's the exception to the rule. Arkham horror novels by Fantasy Flight. I've read 4 of these now. These are all fucking good books. Really good books in their own right. Yes, they're based on their Arkham Files IP with characters from their games and stuff like that. But these are good books, all of them, that I've read. I'll caveat that. I think there's probably about 2 or 3 I don't own yet. But I put it down to the fact they must have an absolutely ruthless editorial team where it's like, it's third rate, we're not putting it out. Goodbye. Bring me something else. And do you know what? Fair fucking play to them. Fair play to them. These are available on ebook as ebooks on Google Books for people who don't want to buy the paperbacks, and they're slightly cheaper, but they're fucking great books.
Yeah. Also, I've got to hand it to some of the writers doing Games Workshop stuff. The Eisenhorn trilogy is quite nice.
Yeah.
That's a trilogy I quite enjoyed, but the Horus Heresy stuff really bored me to death at some point.
Yeah, I mean, it was, to be fair, I read the Tau one, Cao Yon was it called, something like that, and most of the others I've read have been Heresy, and that's because I got like a humble bundle where I got the first 13 Heresy ebooks for like £8 or something.
Yeah.
On the humble bundle, so it was like an absolute steal, and they're fine.
Dog.
Demon, that's one thing I want to do. I want to read the original Gotrek and Felix books at some point. That's one that passed me by. Although again, when I was at school, I was reading Ulfafard and the Grey Mouser. What the hell's that author's name? Fuck. Oh, it's gone. But anyway, all that old school fiction, pulp fiction, is fucking amazing.
You remember what I said prior to streaming? What would happen if I run out of brown lemonade?
Well, you could always give yourself fucking diarrhea, I guess, and sort of like. So have you run? Oh, you son of a bitch! What's that? Motorhead Scotch?
It's Signature Series Straight Bourbon Whiskey, Ace of Spades by Motorhead.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to pour myself one.
So, do you know who brews and bottles that for them?
Distilled, barrel blended, and bottled by Proof Artisan Distillers LCC Fargo.
Proof Artisan. Okay, I'll check that fucker out.
Imported by Square Drunken Netherlands BV in Groningen.
So, and what is it? A bourbon style Scotch?
It just says straight bourbon whiskey.
Okay, cool. I do like my whiskies, to be fair. Again, utter heresy. I'm more of a blends man than a malt. I find malts are a little bit, you've got to be in the fucking mood. But
this one was a birthday present from my best man this year, so I'm really enjoying this in small quantities.
Yeah, it's best way, man. Best way. Get yourself some whiskey stones. Chill it.
Bloody hell. His wife made a little bag to put it in, which had a personalized print. Oh, there it is.
Old Hammer Fiction Podcast. Okay, Demon. Oh, so what? He's read.
Can you read this?
If it's too loud, you're too... My favourite Lemmyism was back in the day. He had one of those button badges on his overloaded denim jacket that said, "Money is how people without talent keep score." Fucking, you tell him, Lemmy. Bollocks.
Oh god, I missed that man.
Yeah, he was a fucking legend. Absolutely, he did not give a fuck. The man didn't. He couldn't even spell pretense.
No, I think. I mean, many celebrities might be something of a pretend person, but yeah, I think he's one of the most genuine persons on stage I've ever seen.
Yeah. How many did you see him live? Many times?
Oh, more than once.
Lucky bastard. I only saw him once. It was a fantastic little venue. It was Leeds University, and it was the Bastards tour, I believe, or might have been 1916. No, it was 1916 tour. Supported by Faith No More, believe it or fucking not.
Brand.
Supporting the Epic album. Now that was a fucking gig. That was a gig and a half. That was
Yeah,
very good.
I've seen them in, I think, Bremen once or twice, and 2 times at Wacken.
That is, Doug's put in the chat a great Lemmy one. Do you hate having to play Ace of Spades over and over? No,
No.
I might if it was shit, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's like, well, is he wrong? It's
I
like,
think the most adoring memory I have is when they played in Bremen at Pier 4.
yeah,
And you know the song Whorehouse Blues?
yes, yeah.
Yeah, so the set is on fire, Lemmy is going all out, and it's just burning down the house, and then they go quiet. And somebody's bringing a bucket to the front of the stage and 2 seats. Right? What's happening?
The fuck?
And then all lights go down and just 2 spots in front, and the guys sit down and they play the drums on some buckets.
Yeah.
Lemmy has his
they do that in the vid,
harmonica
don't they?
and a guitar, acoustic guitar, and then they're going the Whorehouse Blues in
I know, 'cause,
street
well,
musician
someone's-
acoustics.
Who did the harp? Who did the old harmonica? Because there's harp in there,
Lemmy.
isn't there? Lemmy
That's-
did the harmonica, yeah.
It's just, and I was standing there. The fuck?
Yeah. I remember
Brilliant.
when because they didn't play Ace of Spades for the whole gig. And then they were doing this, they did their second encore, I think it was. And Lemmy goes, while I'm alive, this will always be on the fucking set. Ding. It's like, fucking place erupts.
Yeah,
It's like,
I think the last time I've seen him was in Wacken at the same time where Ronnie James Dio was there shortly before he passed away.
I saw Ronnie once as well, Donington Park, 1987, when it was still called Monsters of Rock. Second on the bill, only Bon Jovi were above him, and they were shit. Dio absolutely smashed that gig. That was a fucking awesome gig. Although that was a good Monsters. Anthrax, Metallica, Dio, Cinderella, Bon Jovi. I think I'm missing one. Or maybe I'm not. I can't remember.
I think they're just a band that's just amazeballs.
Who, Motorhead?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like there are some guys. I mean, like if I was to take, you've got Parfit and Rossi, you've got Lemmy, and you've got another one is Dave. What the fucking hell's his surname out of the Kinks? Oh, it's gone. Anyway, the bloke out of the Kinks. Those guys wrote so many songs, and they just wrote good fucking songs. That is a skill. When you write 110, 115 songs over your entire career, and like people will be able to sing 70 or 8, hum along to 70 or 8 of them, they never forget. They're complete fucking earworms. That's talent.
Yeah.
That's talent. Anybody can fucking bash out the first 10 hits. It's when you can do it after 30 fucking years and still be bashing out earworms. That's talent.
I remember a little
Davies,
cartoon.
thank you, Ewok. Dave Davies.
I remember a little cartoon I've seen shortly after the passing of Lemmy, when he comes up to the pearly gates, just his hat on and a white robe, and is greeted by what's his face, David Bowie, and he says, "Yeah, if you're not very on to the closing, don't go to the bar." And he's just having a cup of tea in hand.
Yeah,
hell.
yeah, it's fucking legend.
Are we at that stage where old farts are starting to reminiscence about their youth?
Yeah, well, that's what it's all about, isn't it? This is the Grognard channel. I did come to the right fucking one, I hope. But I wasn't misinformed.
Oh. Because James Cutts just asked for the tour, and we're on the subject of old farts. You know what every good metalhead needs in his life? His jeans vests with his stickers.
Yeah. Fucking same patches, man.
Some years ago, I had to redo mine because it just was falling apart.
I don't. Fucking shame on me. Absolute shame on me. I do not. I had 2 denim jackets in my sort of like 20s, teens and early 20s. I got 2 fully patched up, and I do not have them anymore. And absolute shame on me.
I still have that one that has been replaced.
Man,
It's
what a
hanging
thing.
on that door there. I'm going to get it.
Do it.
This is going to be so hilarious in hindsight.
Give us a tour of the patches. Oh, man. Right, for those of you who don't like metal, you might as well fuck off now. Because we're in the zone.
It's a bit tight around the waist.
That's because you've got fat, mate. That happens.
Welcome to the metalheads.
Oh, fucking hell, there's barely anything on that. I can still see blue.
Yeah.
Fucking...
Just
Hang on. Hang on. Fucking amateur. We've said it once. We'll say it again. Come on, then. So we've got a cannabis leaf, yeah. Iron Maiden, Power Slave, yeah. What's at the top there? I'm squinting.
AC/DC.
Okay. Take it off, man. You can show the camera properly. Is that buttons? You got buttons on your pocket
No.
folds as well.
And there's Slayer button. And an Ozzy Osbourne
Led
button.
Zeppelin. Oh, you old fart.
And another Slayer button. And a Rapalje button. And Blind
who?
Guardian.
Blind Guardian. Ooh, get him. He's down with the kids.
Well, it's a German band. What do you expect?
Well, that's, to be fair. So, okay. Have you got Creator on there?
No, I don't think. I have multiples of Maiden.
Tankard? Running Wild? Come on, we're
Running
doing German.
Wild.
We're
Running
doing
Wild got
German
missing
bands
at some
now.
point.
Accept. So we've got all of the good German bands, people. Come on, let's spam chat. Spermbirds. Halloween, yeah, very good band. Give him that one. Let him have that one.
ELO. What?
Hey, they're not fucking German, are they? Kraftwerk. Not really my sort of thing, but oh my god, Electric Callboy. Are you making them up now, Ewok? I've never heard that. What the fuck? I think we'll be, yeah, Ewok's just backing them up. Rammstein, good shout.
It's Stein. It's
That's
like
true.
the one.
It is, because if I remember my schoolboy German, you pronounce the trailing vowel. So IE would be E, and EI is I.
It's
hence
Rammstein, you twat.
Rammstein.
It's
So
like
there you
the
go.
beer keg, the big Stein.
So like WIE is Wieder,
Yes.
and STEI is Stein.
Yes.
See, I do doing German for 5 years wasn't a complete waste of fucking time.
Well, I couldn't remember anything from my Russian class, but that's well, I was bad at it back then, so.
To be fair, not even Russians can speak Russian. I wouldn't worry about it.
If you really want to,
David Hasselhoff is definitely not fucking German. Redverse.
I think it's time to close up shop for tonight because we have reached our tightly scripted 30 minutes and things are going downhill.
Yeah,
from
things
here.
are definitely going off the road. Well, do you know what, sir? Thank you very much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure to be on your stream.
It's my pleasure to have you here.
And I hope we entertained the masses. And
if you don't know who this lovely lad is, it's Mr. Sir Paul from Yellow Belly Tabletop. Look him up on the YouTubes and
there's not that many channels with Yellow Belly in the name. You'll find us.
And don't go for Yellow Snow, and also don't eat Yellow Snow.
8 o'clock Thursday nights, YouTube. Be there, be square.
Be a rectangular thing.
But unfortunately, we won't get to talk about heavy metal because the only heavy metal that David knows is Hailstorm. And it's that and fucking dance music that sounds like a bee having a fit in a tin. So it's like, yeah.
Maybe there's a market there in doing a heavy metal based themed tabletop game.
A yellow snow tabletop, rude. Sorry, what was that, Tim? I was distracted
Maybe
by the
there's
chat
a
being
market
rude.
there for a heavy metal based tabletop game.
Well, I don't know. GW have tried the old Metal Orcs. They've been a bit of a trope. How would you do heavy metal as a board game, man?
Well, have you
war game?
played Brutal Legend?
That was a video game back in the day, wasn't it?
Yeah, with Jack Black and going all metally stuff. That would totally work.
Yeah, you might have a point. You might have a point.
It even got factions. It got goth and glam rocks and all those nice little things. And since it's a game that came with an RTS, there's also already units in it. So
That's true. Here's the thing, though. Don't you think that we over subdivide metal?
yeah, fuck yeah. It's electric
like-
guitars. It sparks joy. It's metal. Fuck
Yeah, it's
whatever
like,
everybody
but
else is saying.
Is it speed metal? And the one that makes me piss myself laughing now is you get like Doom Thrash and fucking Doom Death, and it's like, piss off. You're just making it all up now. Stop.
Can you even tell?
Yeah. Look, does it make you want to shake your head violently? Then yes, that's great. That's
Does it
metal,
make you
then.
want to play the air guitar? Yes.
Yes,
drums.
it's either quo or metal. It's got to be one of the two.
Is he having a seizure? No, he's enjoying his music.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you want to be if you want to never go down from being punched in the face, become a metaler, because your neck muscles will be that fucking hard. Fucking Tyson could give you a right hook, your head won't move.
Also, you're pretty much immune to what's it called when you get hit by a car and your head snaps.
Your whiplash.
Whiplash.
So, yeah. What's Whiplash? It's a really good song by Metallica off their first album. No, it's a medical condition, you fool. Oh, really? Shit.
Who knew?
Who knew?
Well, with that said, up the irons. See you later next week. Bye.
See you later, guys.